Alright guys, so here is the update on the 2000 Chevy Camaro. Like I said, I wasn't sure what was wrong with it. Well, I had an idea. I thought it was the fuel pump because like I said, hearing some noises coming from that gas tank area, and eventually it had died while driving, and put some spray in there because kind of like wanting to start was like and then when I put gas in the not gas, starting spray in the intake here, you could hear it go put 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 put, and then it just, so I assumed it was the fuel pump. I do have a vent valve code on this, a P0446. I still don't know if that maybe has something to do with it. We did have a fuel gauge or float that was off as well, so I didn't know that when I got the car that these fuel pumps have a float, so the sending unit is actually part of the fuel pump. So I didn't know that. So replace so we'll go over here. So we did get a pump that was graciously donated. Thank you, Harry. And like I said, I was probably gonna sell it to a scrap yard, but what the hell did I, if you heard that quote, what the hell do you have to lose? So I cut a very crude trap door in there. So I was like, it doesn't matter, I was going to a scrapyard. So put the fuel pump on, and as soon as I put it in, hooked it up, it started up. So we know we had a bad fuel pump. The problem is you sometimes you have to learn things the hard way, and my frustration with this car, and it's GM, is they don't make stuff for this car anymore. Just like silly, minuscule things that you need for this car, and they don't make them. So like the PCV valve, so the little valve right here, they don't make a gasket for that anymore. My heater hose, they don't make a heater hose for that. But on this particular fuel pump, they have little retaining clips or fuel injector clips. When you buy a new pump, they don't come with them. Even the more expensive pumps, they don't come with them. So I just assumed that this new pump would just be able to hold those in. And I started up, I let it idle for 10 minutes. There was no fuel. Drove it down the street, no fuel. Drove it to the store, no fuel leakage. 10 miles later, fuel leakage. So ended up breaking down, having to get it towed. And just put in the retainer clips, and I put in a couple gallons of gas. And I think that's going to solve the problem, but I'll try to show you guys, like, as I'm doing this on my laptop. So on the pump there, and I don't know if you can see it on the trap door. Let me try to cradle the laptop here. So on the trap door, on the trap door, if you look right here where my finger is, there are two clips. And I think this is the return line, the outlet line. There are these little clips, and this pump didn't come with them. It didn't come with the little thing right here either. But even on the more expensive pumps, they don't. It's just a GM thing, and then they don't even make a wiring harness for it. You've got to cut it and then place the new one on. That just doesn't make any sense. But that's just a manufacturer thing with GM. Why they didn't put a trap door in these cars, that don't make any sense either, because you're going to spend $1,000 for a shop, because the at-home mechanic, if you have nothing more than a jack and stands, you're not going to be able to remove that pump. You got to get on the lift, take that axle apart, the exhaust, to drop that tank. But the simple solution was that trap door, and mine's pretty crude, because I don't have welding tools or metal cutters. So I just tried to rig it. Like I said, what the hell do I have to lose? Have a running car or a non-running car. So we got the pump in there. We'll start it up, and it starts right up every time. I did notice, in the mornings, that's why I was thinking the fuel pump was going out, because in the morning it was kind of hard starts, noise coming from the area. You had a bad vent valve. I don't know if that was the issue, but still don't know where that vent valve is on this car. But we'll start it up here, and I'm still trying to, and it poured gasoline everywhere, so I'm still slowly trying to get that out. But we'll start it up here, and you guys can listen to the car. We're not going to run it too long because I've only got a few gallons, but the fuel gauge is working like it should. It's not bobbing because it used to go, it would just like bob up every time I start the car, and it's not doing that. Now it's got less than a quarter tank. I'm not going to run it too long, but just wanted you guys to be able to listen to it. The exhaust sounds better, stronger. The only thing that's wrong with the car right now is we've got this heater hose. I don't know if you can see it. This hose right here is bad, and I've tried everything to fix it. That's another stupid thing of GM. They don't make the replacement hose. I might have to buy it aftermarket or something, and you can't remove it. There's a bracket down there held by one screw, but there's no clearance to get anything in there to get a good grip on it. So I'm gonna have to bypass it somehow, just leave part of the old hose in, reconnect the new hose, and just run it onto a mount somehow without it hitting something that it shouldn't. So, but that hose is the only thing that they don't make them anymore. You can't get them at AutoZone or O'Reilly's. But that's the only thing that I need to replace at this point with this car, just to not worry about it, because now it's starting to overheat because that hose is not holding pressure anymore. It's not a sealed system. So, but that's the update on the Camaro.